At Gloria Day, we are creative, joy-filled, and generous. At Gloria Day, we are better together. In this stewardship season, let's learn about generosity from some of our friends.
My grandmother. Nobody ever left her house hungry. No one ever felt unloved. If she had anything that you wanted, she would just give it to you. If you complimented something, it was just, here it is, and now it's yours. And she just always showed us very much love and caring and just a perfectly generous heart.
I would have to say for that, my dad, just because of time he's given to me throughout my childhood and in my adulthood. And it's funny because now he's in Michigan, I'm here in Minnesota, but anytime I need him for anything, I can call him and talk about whatever, ask for whatever, help get things figured out. And giving that sort of time, having a couple kids of my own now, I know is not easy. And so having my dad stepping into that role has set a really strong example for me that we talk about generosity, but there's many more ways to think about it than just money, which admittedly is the first thing that my mind runs to whenever I think of generosity.
Oh, I've known several, really, generous is a general word, and so what does it mean? You tend to think about amount of monies, but it's really how much do they have and what do they share kind of thing. But I just had a friend die, and he was a very rich man and very generous, but he made it a point not to appear generous. And that always intrigued me. I know 3 or 4 people like that, so I wouldn't mention their names because they wouldn't want that, okay? Type of thing. And I think a lot of the generous people are that way. But they really do share their resources and can't take it with you kind of concept and that type of thing. My friend that just died said, he never met a grouchy, generous person. And that was kind of a message that a lot of times these people, really are quiet about what they do, and that's part of the enjoyment that they can see how people. But as he was dying, he talked about it's just storybook. He talked about his life and what it meant to help people. Really didn't talk about what he owned or all that kind of stuff. So it really played out like you read about in the books and in the Bible.
Early on, we were going to church in Jericho, Vermont, and we were introduced to the concept of the step-up plan, where every year you try to increase your giving by 1% of your net. And we realized we weren't really giving very much. So, okay, we decided let's try that. So we, in the budget, you put that first and then continue on. And then the next year you try to step it up to the next level until you get to where you want to be at. And Beth has a story about that.
Yeah, so it was an experiment and we weren't sure we could do it because our kids were little and things happen, cars break down and whatever. I remember one day, and this was really a turning point for us in our giving. I sat down to pay the bills, and we had an account that we paid all of our bills out of, carefully calculated, but something had happened. I don't remember what, but we had more expenses that month. I started writing out the checks and calculating and keeping track and realized I was $1.69 short for the bills that we had to pay. And I'd already gotten groceries and we were down to nothing until the next payday. And I didn't quite know what to do about it. You kind of are like, not a good place to be. So I went for a walk. I walked out, and while I was out, the mail came. I picked up the mail, and there I was at the end of our long gravel driveway. And in the mail was a check. It was a dividend check for an account that it was like an insurance account or something. I opened it up and it was for $1.69. And I stood there at the end of the driveway holding this check going, wow, thank you, God. And I guess we have to keep doing this because putting this first really does work and we can do it. Before that, I wasn't really sure. And so then that was, then we knew that we could keep on. We could keep on putting our church giving first and everything else worked around it. And sometimes miraculously. Yeah, it was incredible. It was, like I said, it was a turning point that helped us to keep on and growing our giving.
I can remember when I was younger, I didn't really understand what was happening. My mom would give us like $1 that we'd put in our little envelope and we gave it at church. And now as an adult, it's so much more. I get to see where the money's going. I get to participate in other ways and give in other ways. And so financially and with my time, I feel like all these gifts that we've had are now being shared as well.
I think the church does a lot of things that we agree with, we approve of. We think the church is doing a lot of outreach now, and we really like that. And I think it's living like Jesus would want us to live. And the more outreach we do, and our mission statement, I think, is so important, and that's why we give.
It feels good. It's a way to magnify your impact because when you work together with others, so much more gets done than you could possibly do by yourself, especially at a place like this. The scope of the programs that this church is doing outside, all over town, it's amazing.
It multiplies it. And it goes out in ways that we could never imagine even ourselves. And so it's really fun and exciting to see where those gifts go in the world and what God is doing with them.
I think I do it to be part of the community. Glory Days made me feel really welcomed. I don't have any family anywhere near here, and it's really become my home.
Gloria Day is a generous community. Together we have faced every challenge set before us. Together we have navigated a season of pandemic protocols, shutdowns, and more. Led by the Spirit, we have cared for our neighbor and one another. And because of your generosity, our ministry didn't merely subsist and survive, it thrived. We've been able to do this because we have discovered that we are absolutely better together. After having been apart for so long, today, the Gloria Day community is strong as ever. Looking ahead, we have some challenges, and by now we've learned that we can only face this together. Our goal is to increase generosity to our operational fund by $1,346 per week, or $70,000 per year. This will allow us to accomplish 3 unique goals. Your increased generosity will allow newcomers to experience our welcome from the first moment they come to our building, even in the parking lot. Thanks to your generosity, we raised enough to pave the lower parking lot last year. Due to city code and ordinances, we discovered we also have to add sidewalk, curb, and gutter. Together we can finish the job. Your increased generosity will also allow us to bolster our children, youth, and family curriculum, activities, and facilities after a year of pandemic-related restrictions, obstacles, and staffing shortages. Finally, we will be able to maintain ministry excellence by continuing to provide health benefits and adequate compensation for staff and meet the ever-rising costs of recurring expenses. We continue to navigate a season like none other, but I am convinced that we are better together. And as Gloria Day, we will pave the way forward to the bright future that God has in store for us. Here's what you can do next. By November 15th, you should receive a statement of intent card in the mail. Think, pray, and discern how God might be calling you to grow in generosity. Then bring your statement of intent card to worship on Commitment Sunday, November 21st. You can also mail your intent card to church or fill it out digitally on our website. We love Gloria Day, and we are passionate about this community. We are better together, and as one community, we are paving the way to our future.